I want to talk to you about my friend Charlie Crawford. He's a 10-time NFR qualifier.
Charlie Crawford, time to just shake it out and win. Got it on him fast, set
there
up.
We are.
Here's a day
nice
money
run.
lead. You betcha 3-8.
That's an absolute perfect run. Timing was perfect from the time the first swing is up. He's got the control. Charlie made it happen by being timed up with his horse with the steer, and being able to not just rope, but to pick that steer's head up without changing the momentum for the heeler at all.
We know his beautiful wife, Jackie, all three of their beautiful children, the founder of the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation, which this year will exceed $1 million raised for military and first responders. I've said it 1,000 times. Charlie, it's time to rope, nod and ride, whip and spur. I want to welcome you to the Charlie Crawford Podcast. Let's ride.
Hello, everyone. So this year's American Hero Celebration with Charlie Crawford is getting close. It's right around the corner. So we've got a few months left to where this thing is going to be kicked off, probably less than a couple months. So me and Bill Force has been on the podcast before. He's one of our board members. He's one of the head guys on our ops team and had a chance to win this thing a few years ago, high man back, and then last year redeemed yourself by spinning the wheels off of one. And so, Bill, thanks. I figured this would be a great time to kind of get everyone updated on where we're at on Liberty and Loyalty's American Hero Celebration.
Yeah, fantastic, Charlie. Thanks for having me up again. It's as you mentioned, it's coming right around the corner. We're less than 8 weeks away.
I love it, man. We got such a good team this year. It just keeps getting built. We keep building more and more of our team, and we're starting to get a little bit more of an idea of how everything's moving, how to try to get hands on certain buckets of items that need to be done, and we're getting a great team under us, and it's been going great.
Yeah, it's the team concept is really the key to this. And if you look at the military organizations, the police, the fire that we support, they're all structured, based on very high quality teamwork, and that's what we're striving to do. And I think we're getting there.
Well, one of the things, too, is I was watching you and Shane White rope today, and you guys are going to be roping at this year's American Hero Celebration. And it looked good today. You guys made a lot of really good runs. Your horse was hooking up the steer good, putting the old jelly on the biscuit, where Shane White was back there just clicking hocks together.
Oh, it's fun. And, obviously, working under your guidance is great. But, my number one horse did real well. And my young horse, my mare that I complain about a lot, she really came through today as well, too. So it's exciting.
I was real excited for Shane, too. I mean, he's roping really good. He had a lot of dubs behind you, and then I turned 3 of them just to kind of get my futurity horse kind of slowed down and just kind of locked on a little bit, and he just wheeled 3 of them for me, just as pretty as can be. So, but man, what a story for Shane White as well. As far as where our organization is, what it's done for Shane in a perspective. Shane was one of my first podcasts on the podcast. So if you guys rewind, go scroll down for a while, and you'll hear Shane's story on one of my original podcasts. And so he's somebody we met at one of the American Hero Celebration. I think maybe our second annual one. He just came. I
think
and
it was the second year.
I don't even think he roped, and just came and seen it. Like, man, this is the greatest thing. And then wanted to be involved and helped me put on a clinic. And then for long, then he's roping at it. And then he got into the Horns and Heroes clinic, and then he helped start a deal for me under Skill Bridge, where it unites basically guys at the end of service to where they can go into a line of work and intern under somebody. And he interned for me last year, and that turned into a job where I think he's the project manager at Equibrand.
Yeah, more than a job. I mean, it's a new career for him after his 20 years in the Air Force. And, what a great guy. I mean, I'm so happy. He asked me today if I'd like to rope with him this year. Absolutely. I mean, roping aside, he's just a terrific guy, and we are very fortunate to have him on board.
Yeah, it's been fun too. He handles the prize line, and that's kind of his bucket that he carries. Does such a great job with it. So, yeah, it's gonna be exciting roping. So, one of the things right now we're staying patient on is that when we get the top 15 headers and heelers lined out, because they got 2 weeks left. This is the 2-minute drill. This is it. The guy's got 2 weeks left right now to be able to get the NFR made. And so what we do with our NFR Showdown, which we'll talk a little bit later on Sunday, we have the best guys in the world, and we set up the exact same setup as the Thomas and Mack, and that gives them 4 full rounds to be able to get ready for the NFR. We set the same barriers, we get the same kind of cattle. It's a good warmer-upper for them, and it's a goal for us to be able to sell tickets, and also gets them there to rope with some of the military and first responders as well. But as of right now, we are waiting to see who is going to be our 15 guys this year, and it's a heck of a race right now, and
it is
in a lot of things because right now here's the big kicker. So there's 2 weeks left. Right now, Mandan. This week, Mandan is the big one. Mandan carries a lot of weight this weekend right now because that's a $15,000 one-header with 18 monies, and they only take 34 teams. So there's a lot of guys right now that are banking on this one right here to be able to get him right there into the spot to be able to have a chance to wait and see on the other guys that end up making the Governor's Cup in Sioux Falls. And so, as we look at the world standings, Dustin Esquiza, he extended his lead last week, winning Pendleton Roundup, him and Levi Lord. So they're kind of doing what world champs do right now, and that's win.
They've had a heck of a season.
And Caleb Driggers, he's right there at number 2. T. Wade's had a heck of a year at 3. Coleman Proctor had a great win last week. So Logan didn't go to Pendleton, and Driggers didn't go to Pendleton. So Coleman and Junior roped together last week, and I think they won maybe 3rd or 4th at Pendleton. Well, Coleman won 2nd in the steer open. Coleman won the all-around at Pendleton. That's a big win.
That's big.
That's a prestigious all-around win. J.C. Yako is number 5. Looks like he's in. He's going to make his first NFR. Clint Summers, Brenton Hall, Jake Smith. We talked about him. He also made the Governor's Cup as well. Andrew Ward, he's number 10, and he's got the Governor's Cup as well. So that's a good one for him. I think he was the last one to get in. So Andrew Ward's got the Governor's Cup. So Cody Snow is 11th. And I think they've got some money won that's not here on the standings quite yet. I talked to Hunter Cook this morning. He said that there was some money that wasn't in. So Cody may be a little bit higher. I think they said they got maybe 109,001, but he's maybe a little bit on the chopping block. He's I think he's above it, but he might be on it. So Cody Snow did not make the Governor's Cup. So they're hoping I think they've got 4 rodeos left. I think they got Mandan and Omaha this week. And I think next week they go to Pasadena, and Stephenville. And so that's where those guys are at. Derek Begay, they did not make the Governor's Cup. Eric Rogers did not make the Governor's Cup. He's 13th. Clay Smith is 14th, did not make the Governor's Cup. Riley Minor did not make the Governor's Cup. So we stroll down here with Junior D's, Tanner Tomlinson. So Nelson Wyatt's 18th. He did make the Governor's Cup. So that's where you got some guys that could upset some stuff.
Yeah, that's going to make it interesting right there.
And then now we stroll all the way down to 19th. Wyatt Bray has made his rookie appearance this year and has been doing good. And he did good at Puyallup, and that gave him a chance to make the Governor's Cup right here. So he's got a shot at it with the Governor's Cup as well. And I think he's got 4 or 5 rodeos as well. So yeah, on the head side, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, Mandan is going to be. That one's going to be a kicker for a lot of these guys that did not make the Governor's Cup in Sioux Falls. So you got Levi Lord with the win, or at number 2 or number 1 in the world. When at number 2 is Junior coming off a good win with last week at Pendleton with Coleman, a good placing over there. Got some money won. And then Logan's in with Thorpe's having a good year. Logan's having a good year. Jake Long. Caden Perfili looks like he's going to make his first NFR. Douglas Rich, he's 7th, and he's got the Governor's Cup. I don't know if Buddy's got the Governor's Cup. I don't see, but I think he's got enough money won.
It's great seeing Wesley sit up there near the top. He's a great supporter of us, and we really like seeing him do well.
Yeah, for sure. Number 9 is Jonathan Torres. He does have the Governor's Cup made. Him and let's see, Nelson Wyatt. They're going to be partnered up there. So he's in a good shot. Colby Payne does not have the Governor's Cup, but he's number 10. And so Hunter Cook, I think Hunter Cook's up there with the number 109,000. Coulter Todd's 12th. He's going to be going to all these, probably San Bernardino, Poway, Mona's the last week. A lot of these guys, what I've heard, though, has got between 1 to 3 rodeos left. Paul Leaves does not have the Governor's Cup made. Travis Graves is 14th. He does have the Governor's Cup made, and he's got a few rodeos. But Tanner Braden is on the chopping block at 15th, and they said he's got 13 rodeos left. So he can go to every swinging rodeo that they have from now till the end of the year. And he also, I believe, does have the Governor's Cup. Him and Kyle Dennison made the short round at Puyallup. So he's got the strongest chance on paper.
He may be sitting in a good spot.
Mm-hmm. Colin Vaughn on. So Patrick Smith, Brady Minor, I think they just got 1 to 3 rodeos left. So Mandan's going to be a big one for a lot of those. Colin Vaughn on's 19th. He does have the Governor's Cup made. So he's on the outside looking up at, again, a good spot. And then we stroll down here also. Like I said, Wyatt Cox 20th. All these guys, if any of these guys right here on the bottom hit good at Mandan, they're in a good spot. But Peyton Bray, he's at 23. So he's kind of right there to where he's got a good shot because he's got Mandan and the Governor's Cup. Yeah. So there's where some upsets could be arising right there in the team roping. So long way, even though it's only 2 weeks, a lot can happen.
It's going to be exciting.
That Governor's Cup has gotten to be a great rodeo.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here. Yeah, and then those top 15 guys and teams. I mean, that's they'll be headed our way.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic.
Yeah, so some of them are going to be missing. Only a handful are going to be missing our open roping, which we have 20,000 added to, and they will rope in our military first responder pro roping. So only a few of them are going to miss it because that big rodeo in Hondu, I think it's somewhere around Phoenix, I think, in Arizona.
I believe you're right.
It's $1 million added standalone event. It's a great, great rodeo. There's going to be more of them, I think, popping up. There's a lot of things going on with some of these other rodeos, too. There's some rumors of some other rodeos open, like PRCA rodeos, big rodeos. I went to Abilene earlier in the week. A lot of talk about some of them maybe splitting off. So it's going to be interesting to see where some of these standalone events, are they going to attract more other rodeos to where then they can do what they want, how they want to do it? Is there another league forming? I don't know. I'm not trying to spread rumors, but there is some talk going on right now. Interesting to see where they go. So let's talk about, Bill, our American Hero Celebration. So our foundation is called Liberty and Loyalty Foundation, and that is basically the top of the umbrella of all the events that we do.
You're correct. Yep.
So this spring, we had a great event with our United We brand.
We did. We had a lot of repeat guys coming back, military first responders. We had a lot of new guys, never been horseback before. The total count for that day, I think, was 58. There's a great video on the website about it. Boy, it was a terrific time.
This is what's been fun about this organization is I've really tried to bring some of the things that basically, while you guys were fighting for my freedom, these are the cool things I got to do. Branding and going and gathering cattle was some of the best memories I had as a kid. And it was so much fun to where you can get outside, you can go ride, you watch the sun come up, nothing like just not hearing traffic, not hearing anything, and just, being out there on your horse and being able to go gather cattle, sorting cows off calves, being able to brand, and then just the feast that you have afterwards. And Tyler Schaffner, he's helped us with this at the Roadrunner Ranch, being able to get this event done. And this year, the place that he had was beautiful.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was the Allsup Ranch. And Tyler's done just such a great job with us. Again, he partnered with us, and you can't say enough good things. Again, great guy, supports us, done well. I mentioned the video that's out about the branding. If you watch that, there's some testimonials in there where you see the benefit that individuals get from this that we don't even realize.
So for a lot of the guys, Blake Mallory, he kind of attacked a lot of the role of being able to go get some of the guys that have never been on horseback. Yep. A lot of them do struggle with PTSD and other things.
They sure do.
So what are some of the struggles a lot of these guys come with, and what did this mean to a lot of the guys?
Well, when you talk to them one-on-one and you listen to them in a testimony, you'll find that, PTSD affects people in a lot of different ways. It can be, depressing. They become very withdrawn. We had a guy that called me to ask about the branding, and he said it took every fiber in his body just to make that phone call. That he'd withdrawn after his service, and he recognized he was headed down a bad road. And what was the branding about? What could is there any could he come? Well, not only could he come, absolutely we want you to come. And that gentleman is he'll be coming to the event this year. I spoke with him the other day. He's had another setback in his life with a death in the family, but that kind of thing, he came, he had a great time. You see the smile on his face. We had another, again, you hear it on the testimonial. where the wife says that this saved our marriage. Being part of this event, this organization has saved the marriage. The struggles are real, and you see them all the time, and they're hidden as well. So you don't know who's doing. You can see a guy and you can think it's the most normal guy in the world, and then on the inside, he's having a tough time. And one of the hardest things is to get that inside exposed, and talk about it, and recognize that you're not the only one that's having these kind of problems. So when you get around this kind of a group, everybody has got the same commonality of experiences, be it police, fire, or military. There's that brotherhood that exists and that camaraderie, and it makes it come out. I know you and I did an event with Danny Griego, and it was we had a gentleman there who 6 months prior to that had the gun in his mouth, and he said this was the best day of his life, that when he was out roping. So with us, the impact is real, and that's what excites me. It's what keeps me going to do this and want to do this and help, is that we make a difference. We don't always see it, and when we're planning and putting this on, it's a lot of work, and sometimes you go, holy smokes, this is a lot to do. But then when you see the result in the end, it's all worthwhile.
Well, and not only just the branding, to be able to see those guys that never been on a horse and just seeing them get their mind off things. That's one thing too. Is it's hard to dwell on some of the things that go on when you're amongst people that make you comfortable. You got that brothership again. You got that bond. And just sometimes being on a horse. Just even
that's
that
the thing.
Bond alone.
Absolutely. I know we'll talk about this later with Charly 5, but when you bring the camaraderie of the individuals together, and then you add that with the horse, there's some magic that happens there.
It was meaningful, I thought, too, for Liberty and Loyalty Foundation. Also, this summer, we had somebody that would talk to us about a veteran that was going through cancer, and didn't he developed something, I think, when he was in service, and we were able to step in and help. We didn't hand money, but it was a way where we could at least help with truck payments, rent, things like that.
We've definitely been able to help, and that's made I spoke to that gentleman here a couple of weeks ago at a roping, and he couldn't be more thankful to the assistance that's been provided to him. So he is 100% disabled, and we won't go into who it is, but really nice young man, and deserves everything that we can help him with.
It's kind of where it's a meaningful foundation in the fact of when the government's not either able to or doesn't recognize holes in things that should be handled. It's nice to where at least we have something that I feel like that is able to pick up some of the slack.
Absolutely. Yeah, we developed last year a bit of a slush fund. We call it our Hero Fund. And at our event in November, our beer is donated, and so we don't sell it, but there's a donation jar, and that donation jar is what's able to help out in situations like this.
Yeah. So now we're getting caught up to our 5th annual Hillwood Land and Cattle American Hero Celebration with Charlie Crawford. So this one's gonna be meaningful. Not that none of them were. It's nothing along with that. It's to me, it's a milestone. This is a meeting milestone, I think, for the organization. Is within 5 years. This year, I feel like we're going to be able to go over $1 million raised for military first responders and families.
Yeah,
that's a big deal to me. I think
it really is
the
a big
organization.
deal. Well, when you think back, year one, and it was 47,000, and we've come a long way. That million represents what we're supporting other organizations that we believe in, as well as the money that goes out through the ropings and such for the military and first responders. So,
and families.
It's going to be big.
And families.
Yes, it's going to be big.
With Brotherhood for the Fallen.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely going to be big.
So let's start us off on Tuesday. So that should be what, November the 5th. November the 5th this year. So we've, talk about some great partners along with this. NRS, they're in Decatur. Man, they've been such a good partner.
They really have. This is another year with them, and we're going to be at NRS on Tuesday, November the 5th, through Saturday the 9th. All the events will be there, and they've stepped up, which they have every year. But as this grows and matures, these partnerships become more solidified. And we had a meeting last week, with NRS, and you can feel it, you can see it. It's all there, and it's real. That really is our home for this event, and as the big sign that we have, they have up on the wall there states that. So, yeah, really a great partnership.
I can start to feel too, as the Western industry has kind of, like, this has almost created an outlet, I think, for a lot of the Western industry that wants to get behind military and first responders and families and things like that, to where when they see what we've done, especially anybody who's just seen it, that they've seen it, they've witnessed it firsthand. And so it's fun to have partners that believe in what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and that's crucial. They're not there just to take money for the rent or the lease or whatever. It's they are truly our partners, and that's just fantastic.
So Tuesday will be our meet and greet. This is for the guys that got selected for the Horns and Heroes roping clinic that will be held Wednesday and Thursday at NRS.
Correct.
And how many applicants did we have? I know it was almost 100.
We had 95 applicants this year.
And these are all people, these are all applicants that have never been to the Horns and Heroes clinic before.
That's correct.
These are all first timers. That was amazing.
We don't accept repeat attendees to the clinic because we want to spread the wealth and grow the sport.
Don't steal Obama's term.
Right.
Don't use that lingo.
My apologies. But so and I'll tell you what, going through those applications, it's tough. I mean, it brings tears to your eyes on some of the stories, because there's a narrative for each one, because we don't know these people. They come from all over the country. And we're reading these applications, and why do I want to attend, and what can I gain out of it, and so forth. And I mean, it literally brings a tear to your eye. So
there was a lot of them. That was,
but the really interesting part, the three of us that read all those 95 and went through them, and then when we met, it was remarkable how we all had the same group of people.
Yeah.
That we selected. Mm-hmm. So there were, as you said, there were 16 and some alternates that were selected. And we've already
we do 8 headers and 8 healers, which before I used to take 15 and 15. And the reason for that was when it was in my backyard, when we were doing it right here at the house, we would take 15 and 15 because there was always people that couldn't make it. And I think by the time it was all said and done, like 8 headers or 10 headers might come, and it was pretty normal, And well, then now that it's gotten to be such a good event, everyone shows up.
Yeah.
Well, when we were having 15 of them, I didn't feel like, because I do clinics for a living now, and I've found kind of there's certain numbers to where you can have a more personal interaction. You can get way more reps, way more personal attention. And
we saw that last year.
Yes.
And last year was the first year that we'd gone from 15 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big difference. I know, and Trey felt the same way on the heel side, that you guys were able to give a lot more personal attention. And we got a lot of very positive feedback from the attendees about that. This clinic far exceeded some of the others that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have done. So,
yeah. And then so Trey Johnson, he'll be doing the healing. And so Trey brings his ministries for those 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, for the clinic as well. And man, he's gotten so good. We did a clinic again the other day, and he's been all over the world. I think
he just came back from Africa. Yeah.
He's been going amongst world leaders and counseling world leaders. He's been along the side of some of the most influential people in the world. And man, he studies it, and his communication's getting so good. And so yeah, he's really in my opinion, one of the influential people that turned this clinic into more than just a clinic.
Absolutely.
When it was here in the backyard, here at the house, there was people that were struggling with PTSD. They were struggling spiritually. I don't know how many people gave their life to Christ here. That's when I could really start feeling God's presence involved in what we were doing, and he was one of the main reasons for that.
Well, you look at the applications for people to come in. 3 and 4 years ago, we were soliciting for healers. Now it's an equal split, and they want to come and work and train with Trey and listen to what he has to say. So again, like we've said with so many other people already, I mean, just a great guy, great support for what we're doing, and a true partner in it.
And then, so the first day will kick off on Wednesday. So our meet and greet is basically where a lot of the alumni, a lot of the guys that have already attended the clinic, they'll come support. A lot of guys take off work and just come hang out all week.
Yeah, just an opportunity for the incoming crew to meet the guys that have done this before, meet our ambassadors, meet the board, and just meet the team from Liberty and Loyalty and get to know us. And then, as you said, then we'll have dinner, we have music, just a nice casual get together, and then the next day away we go with the clinic.
Yeah, Marty B's, he comes and caters it. And I don't know if anyone's been to Marty B's up there in Argyle. It is good. It is a cool spot too. I wished I was closer. I'd watch football games there. He has it inside of a cutting pen.
Oh, I know.
It is such a cool restaurant. It is so cool. If anyone ever have a chance to go up there to Marty B's and you get a chance to get up there around Argyle, go to it. It is a cool experience.
The venue's great. The food is awesome.
It's awesome.
Just second to none.
Yeah.
So they'll be there again this year. So just really looking forward to it.
So then Wednesday, so we'll start the clinic off, 8 headers, 8 healers. Trey and I'll do that. Then we have a cook-off afterwards.
Yeah, this is where the board of directors, it's a state cook-off. So the board of directors does all the cooking.
So I'm there, really kind of throwing my stuff around here, and then we have Ken Bray that's also on the board, and Troy Applegate, 2 of my good friends, except for on this day, because they cheat. They sit and marinate them freaking steaks all morning and afternoon while I'm freaking working. And then by the time I start my grill, they've already got this. I mean, it's jerky, but I mean, it's not. But I mean, it fills them up. Well, by the time I get my filet mignons out, and my tri-tip, got so much juice it'll poke your eye out, and then they get done with their jerky. Well, then I mean, it's like they're already full. They cheat every year.
That's okay. It's more tri-tip for me. And you.
The funny part is when I watch them 2 when they're done come over there and this is a good tri-tip.
The funniest part was it was 2 years ago when Ken couldn't get his grill going.
And I couldn't, and then they kept blowing the breaker on mine, and Troy's the only one sitting there with a glass of whiskey in his hand going, I wonder what happened.
Yeah. Again, it's just, this is part of the fun, the fun of the whole thing is that you can have this kind of a good time.
I still think Troy popped the breaker intentionally and went and drained Ken's propane tank.
I will never say a word.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So that's one of the things that was always so fun when I had the clinic here was the cookout, because here in Stephenville we had so many people that got behind it and catered it and did things like that was one of the things we wanted to continue to keep doing. So yeah, that's a good one. Then Thursday we'll start back.
Well, let's back up for a second, because Brian Bullock, who is one of our ambassadors, and again, a great success story, lives in North Carolina now, but we're relocating to Texas in the near future. But Brian actually is the sponsor of that cookout.
Yeah,
and so hats off to him on a lot of fronts, stepping up and doing that, as well as being an ambassador and a participant and a partner with us as well. We use the word partner a lot in this conversation, but I'm actually really proud to be able to say that we have this many partners.
Absolutely. And you can tell what it meant to him when he came here and he just wanted to be involved, and comes all the way here from North Carolina. So it's pretty dang cool. So then day 2 on Thursday is the second day of the clinic. We'll get it wrapped up. We'll have this little jackpot, and Christy Snowden, she jumps in here with Legend Tack and Silver and her husband Rod, which I've been good friends with them for a really long time. Well, she's stepped up. She's donated buckles ever since I first did this, going on 10 years now.
These buckles are amazing, and I'm proud to have one on as we speak right now.
Well, she told me and this was before COVID, that I think the military first responder buckle, just that one alone was $900 just to make it. Because it's high quality ruby.
I get a lot of comments on it. It's got the American flag on it, and just really, really a sweet looking buckle.
Yeah, so we'll have buckles and kind of have a buckle presentation on Thursday night after the event.
Yeah, so we have the
clinic,
the top healer, the top header, and then the one that's the most fun, I think, is the most improved.
Well, is our top hand.
So the top
hand. Yeah, exactly. That one's fun because we can get as creative with it as we want, and it's usually always somebody that you can tell that makes a difference in the clinic, whether it's personally or for everyone else, or just you can always tell that one person that steps up and does a lot of things. And so those are pretty cool awards that she's helps us that with her partnership helps us
it's fantastic.
create a lot of great memories.
Oh, for sure.
And experiences.
And, then after the clinic, Thursday night, we're doing something new this year. We require a lot of volunteers to put this on. So we're doing a volunteer appreciation dinner in Decatur for the volunteers.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a great spot too. I get a lot of people that call, text, DM me all throughout the year on being able to want to be involved as a volunteer for this event. If you can get on the website, do you know exactly where it's at on the website that they can just keep scrolling down and you'll find it?
Just scroll down. Yeah. Right now, the website's full between the gala and all the ropings and everything, but and the raffles and such. But on the website, you scroll down till you get to where it takes you to volunteer. And the way that's working this year is really good. You actually see what events and what's needed in terms of volunteers, what time they are, what the location is, and what the job will be, and then you sign up for it. And if you change your mind or something happens later on, you just go in and you take it out of there and you go into something else if you want to. So Dre Sanchez has put that together for us. Another one of our ambassadors. He's put that together for us this year and is doing a terrific job with it. It organizes all of our volunteers, and so it makes this thing. It's going to make it run even smoother.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, he is our task assassin.
Yes, he is.
With the task assassins. I love it. Yeah, so that'll be on the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation website. So a lot of stuff that you're going to be able to click to on when we start going down the list of things we have going on this week. So once that's over, then we start the jackpot. So Friday morning, we'll start the open roping. And the open roping has 20,000 added. So for the open ropers out there, if you're an NFR qualifier, we want you. If you're a non-NFR qualifier, we have 10,000 that's added to the main pot, and then we have a $10,000 side pot. So if you didn't make the NFR this year, I want to add 10,000 on the side of the roping. Reason? Probably broke. You know what I mean? You've been rodeoing all year. I don't know how many guys come to this roping. They're 16th, 17th. They still got credit cards to pay off. So, man, let's have a side pot right here to where you can come in here. And I think Joseph double dipped last year.
He did.
He won the open and the non-NFR roping with Junior D's, who didn't make the NFR as well. They ended up leaving with over 16,000 last year out of this jackpot. So this is a good roping.
Not a bad morning.
Not only that, we take two teams out of our open and we send them to the NFR Showdown on Sunday with a $10,000 average and money in all four rounds. I believe there's three monies in the rounds, all four rounds. And so that's a good chance to get qualified for that event. So, and then while we have our open ropers there, I'll let you go down the military first responder pro ropings.
Yeah, we call that a Mil First Pro again because, as you've said many times, we don't call it a Pro-Am because it's tough to call guys amateurs that have devoted their careers to military, law enforcement, and fire service. So we call that the Mil First Pro, and that's where we're going to take these pros that you mentioned, and we'll marry them up with both the headers on the heel side, and that's roping for saddles and money as well. And that's kind of a special event. We've done there's always a lot of pro-ams around, but this one is super special. A lot of pro-ams are like the 8th grade dance. You got the boys on one side of the room and the girls on the other. And this is not like that. We've seen the growth and the camaraderie between the military and the first responders and the pros that it's hard to describe. I know you saw it the first year we had it here at NRS, and it's you being on the pro side would understand that. It's unbelievable how the mix that happened.
Well, if anyone's ever been to a bulldog at a rodeo and you watch all the guys rooting for each other and hazing for each other and pushing for each other, and the camaraderie in the steer wrestling is by far more than in any other timed event that I've ever seen, and it's the closest thing I've seen to military because of the bond that they have amongst each other. And when we had the military first responder pro roping at NRS outside in a 70-degree day, which is so hard to do in Texas, and a nice little 5-10 mile an hour breeze, it was beautiful. And I'm telling you, there was guys that turned their first steer in that military first responder pro roping.
John.
The crowd went
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
You started feeling the team ropers kind of guard come down. Like, this was a big deal for a lot of these guys. And for them to get the opportunity, some of them were like, man, this is so cool. Like, we get an opportunity to rope with some of the badasses of this whole country, and so they were inspired about it. Some guys that were just glad they stayed on, you know, and there were so many things to root for. And when our timers came up to us and were like, our announcers were like, we've never seen this before. We've never seen so much cheering going on and people rooting for each other. My secretaries came and they're like, we've never seen people that are so nice and grateful. Like, we're used to people coming and complaining about the payout or the draw wasn't upright, you know?
Yeah.
My flaggers came back and like, same thing. Man, this is something different. Like, we've never seen this before. Like, the camaraderie, the excitement to be here. Everyone's rooting for each other. He goes, usually we're getting cussed because the cattle suck or, you know, they should have got a rerun. And he's like, this is so much different. And we've been able to keep the same group of people throughout throughout almost the whole thing, I think, because of how exciting and entertaining this event is. It is.
And again, we're growing this, the number of teams on both sides, the header and the healer side. Now you've got friends on the military first responder have friends on the pro side that they'll go in and so it really is it's more than just fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can feel
a great
like
event.
I could, in my opinion, I thought I could feel God's presence right then and there because it was something that you could tell this was more than just a jackpot. It was pretty cool. So this year, the heading military first responder pro rope, and so this is where the military first responder headers get to rope with a pro healer. And so that'll start right after the open roping on Friday. And you can enter one time. You're going to draw an NFR qualifier. It's 2 full rounds and a short round. Progressive after 2. So you get 2 full rounds. And so if you go out in the first one, you get to go at them with, somebody like Jake Long behind you or, some of the best guys in the world to see how fast they get to heal in person. And so that's got $10,000 added to it because we try to keep the fees affordable. Yeah. This is a nonprofit. All we do is we hold out just enough money out of our jackpots where it pays for our announcers, our cattle, our secretaries, and whatever it is that costs us to put it on, that's all the money that comes out. The rest goes right back into these guys' pockets. So that's where we started thinking, let's find some sponsors to help promote this to get the payout better. And so it's a $200 entry fee. Higginbotham stepped up with $10,000 added in that. With there's going to have fully tooled saddles.
The saddles are beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah. Legend tack in silver. So we got prize lines all the way down as well. And so I think that roping on the head side, if I remembered right, paid almost $5,500 to win it with $200 fees.
Yeah.
Pretty substantial roping.
Not bad.
So, yeah, and elite saddles, fully tooled. Yeah, I just seen them the other day too. Shano, he got those. Yeah, those lined up. They look great. Heel side. This is a chance for the military first responder healers to get a chance to rope with some of the best headers in the world. Same thing. It'll be after the open roping, be after the heading military first responder roping. So sponsored by Higginbotham again, $10,000 added. So that one paid almost, because there's not as many healers as there were headers, so that one paid almost $4,500 to win it for $200 fees. So yeah, same thing. Buckle saddles. That's going to be a great roping. And then that night's probably one of my favorite things because, well, for one, I get to announce it. And we have our Stray Gathering Ranch Rodeo, our military first responder Stray Gathering Ranch Rodeo. So Ariat stepped up on that one. They add $10,000 to our Stray Gathering Ranch Rodeo. And this is where a 4-man team, whether or not it's military first responders, does not matter. It's a 4-man team. And basically, the clock starts when you open the gate, and there's 3 steers out there with a set of panels up with a gate on it, and you got to tie 2 steers down and pin 1 steer, and whatever you came in with, you have to leave with. So if you've lost your hat, your shirt, your rope, or your underwear, and we've seen all 4 of them
They've
get
all
left,
been in the arena.
that you have to, whatever you came with, you got to leave with, and it is great watching. So Anheuser-Busch, they're one of the other guys that stepped up as well, correct?
Yes, correct.
So that's where... So we don't sell alcohol, it's for donations.
Right.
And that event there is where our donations come flying in during this ranch rodeo because it's an exciting event.
It really is. And what makes it more exciting is when guys lose their horses.
Yeah.
They have to go find them in a parking lot.
Crenshaw that just disappeared. Yeah, his horse said, you know what, I'm done with this ranch rodeo. And he decided he took off. He left. I think he jumped the cattle guard and headed out for the interstate. He was headed... The funny part was he was heading the exact same location or direction as where home was. He's like, I'm out. I'm headed home.
Well, and then of course your partner in announcing this thing is Blake Mallory, and that's the world's most natural clown.
Yeah, he's also our NFR clown, Marine that never clowned before, but it's so natural for him. We stuck him in there. I mean, he's going to have probably the biggest name when this whole thing's over with.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. So the top 4 teams of our ranch rodeo, they will advance to our NFR showdown on Sunday as well. And so that's going to be a great event. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so another thing that me and some of the guys decided that we were going to do is that night we want to give everyone a recap. So we're going to have a podcast. It's going to be me, Shane White. Some of these guys don't know it yet, so they're going to find out probably either on the podcast or the day of. But Brian Bullock, we talked about, and Kip Human. You know, Kip's Kill Kipper Snapper.
Yep.
You know, he's one of our
Eeyore,
exactly, exactly. So all 4 of us, we're going to kind of do a recap up to Friday night, and we called it our Bunker Buddies. So we're going to have a little Bunker Buddy episode to where we get a chance to talk about, because I'm telling you, some of the updates are hilarious. We miss a lot of stuff just by trying to talk about it or seeing it on flyer and stuff like that. So X Factor will be there. So a lot of you will get to see it live, but we'll be able to bring a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on to keep it entertaining.
And there is a lot of funny stuff that comes behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, especially with this event. So now we're up to Saturday morning. This is going to be an epic military first responder roping right here.
It really
is. 10
is.
slide, and we already have 30,000 added guaranteed.
Yep.
So for first place, it's going to pay $15,000 a man, $30,000 a team. That is sponsored by Kinetic Vet and Signature Equine Hospital. So that's going to be huge. So you're going to run your first 3 steers on Saturday morning at NRS. And so it's a pick one, draw one. Same thing, $200. So it's going to be, you can enter twice. So you can get 4 runs, and it'd be $100 each entry. It's about as cheap of a roping as you can get to.
And you can rope both sides.
And you can rope both sides. So if you want to enter all 8 times, you can head 4 times, and you can heel 4 times. So you can enter up in this. And so, yeah, we don't mind. Same thing with the open. I don't mind. They want to head, they want to heel. To me, they're separate events. If you're handing up the head and handing up the heel, rock on.
Absolutely.
And so it's a pick one, draw one. And if you don't have a partner, you can come, you can enter the draw. So we don't turn no one down.
We had 250 teams last year. I think, Charlie, we're going to go over 300 this year without any problem.
Because I think it was almost 260. But I think one of the things I want to make sure to understand is, yes, the clinic is by invite only, and you have to register for it. The ropings are for anybody that's a military, first responder, whether or not they're current, anything. If you've served at all, we want you here.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't rope, just come hang out with the guys. We have a lot of guys from back east that come just to hang out with their guys that don't even rope. They've never been on a horse before.
There are 4 people coming from the Pennsylvania, Maryland area that don't rope at all. They'll be here the whole time, just to watch.
So here's the add-on for this year. So Susan Canode, she helped a little bit with the back numbers, and she created an amazing idea that has really sparked something right here that we're really going to try to build and grow on. And that's where this year we're going to have a back number ceremony. So once you get done roping 3 steers in the military first responder roping, we're going to take the top 15 and we're going to take those back to the NFR showdown. That way these guys get a chance to feel what it's like to make the NFR. And so that night at our gala on Saturday night, we're going to have a back number ceremony. So what my goal is, and we've almost got all of them sponsored, you can buy a $2,000 sponsorship and basically sponsor a team. You can buy a back number. My goal this year is to sell all 15 of those back numbers. So we'll have an additional 30,000 in the pot. Like I said, we try to make sure that these fees are as affordable as can be. We don't want to turn nobody down. But there's not a lot of money left in the pot by the time you pay the announcers, pay our help to get this put on. All we're trying to do is get to 0. That's it. Well, so we thought with Susan's idea, we can take that with the back numbers and we can put an additional sponsorship level for that. So in that way, this year, we should have 60,000 added to the military first responder.
It's terrific.
So you're guaranteed. If you make a short round, you'll be guaranteed money.
Well, Susan came up with Susan had a great idea, and this is just it's growing from here.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things, that's what I talked about when I think the first year we had this in Stephenville, and the amount of guys that came up to me and said, "Man, this was the best day of their life." And for me, it was a really slap in the face because of how much I took for granted. All I did was to show these guys the same thing I got to do every single day. And so it really was like, man, if you think this is cool, the first year event we did was within, I think, 30 days prep. Well, give us 365 days to get ready for the next one. Well, then give me a team that we have now to be able to start. Now we want to create an NFR experience for the military first responders. And so I think the back numbers that it's going to be awesome to have it that night at the gala. We're going to have NFR bags. So you're going to have the same bags with our logo on it that the guys that make the NFR, you'll receive the same ones. Then we get some pictures back last year, guys taking their bags with them on deployment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bag's terrific.
Yeah.
And the bag is seen worldwide.
So if you're interested, there is a few spots. So if anyone's wanting to sponsor a back number, or even there's a couple spots also available for sponsorship. For our NFR Showdown, I think the instant replay, that spot is still available. So if there's still available sponsorships, if you're interested, if anyone listening is interested in it. But then also there's a few spots left for the back numbers, and those will be awarded for these guys for the gala on Saturday night and be announced the next day on the Cowboy Channel and X Factor, and also in front of which hopes to be a sellout crowd on Sunday as well. So those things will be available as well. So
yeah, you can go to the website to get to the contact information on how to make those sponsorships and how to participate.
So Saturday night will be our gala in Decatur, Texas.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had it up here. It'll be our third gala, and it's at the Decatur Conference Center. We've got a great program lined up, a guest speaker, Todd Hornbuckle, who does a terrific presentation about a very tragic event in his life that turned positive, and actually turned, as he says, I'll use his words, not ours, but turned positive due to his coming here and participating in the clinic. And it gave him the confidence to get back to work. He's an airline pilot, and it gave him the confidence to get back in the cockpit. So he's got a great story. We'll have a live auction during that, and of course, that live auction is where we're able to make collect the funds that we then distribute to the organizations that we support, that we think have the same frame of mind and want to do the same thing that we do. Some of the auction.
One of the things too that we forgot to talk about too that I dropped the ball on was throughout that whole week is our silent auctions items.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. There's so much going on, Charlie.
Yeah,
but yeah, throughout the whole week, the silent auction will be set up there at Decatur at NRS
and also online.
And online, and again, go to the website. That's how you register to make so you can bid on the items. We got Clay Cowan who runs the auctions for us, both the silent and live, and he's just doing a terrific job on putting the items together. Beck Sunglasses is put together a nice package for us. Hey Chicks, same thing. Best Ever Pads, all on the silent auction side. And I mean, I don't even know how many different items we're going to have this year, but it's going to be a lot. And then on the live auction side,
and this is on Saturday night.
This is at the gala. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is. I mean, some of these items this year, an African bow hunt. There's a helicopter hog hunt, an aerobatic flight with a former Air Force Thunderbird pilot. These are two new ones for us. Here we have a SWAT team for a day.
I want to go do that
and that's with the Hood County Sheriff's Office.
I'd love to go with Kip and shoot him right in the butt. Just sneak right up behind him and just pellet one right there. Love you, Kip.
Keep a straight face here on that one. So SWAT team for a day with Hood County Sheriff, and then cool. and then Irving Fire Department stepped up and they're offering us a firefighter for a day with their team training. So really neat. And then of course, what you're bringing on that is the header and the healer for.
So this is an idea that Troy Applegate and a few other people have talked about as well. Jason Ritchie, he's presented this idea as well. This one's a cool one. This is to get the NFR experience. Now, not in Vegas. This is to get the NFR experience right here in Cowtown Coliseum, to where if you think you've got what it takes to hang with the guys, you can buy a heading spot and you can pick whoever you want to rope with. So if you want to enter the NFR Showdown and rope against the best guys in the world, Driggers is going to be there. Squeeze is going to be there. I talked to them all the other day. They're going to be coming in from Hondu. They're flying in for the event. They're going to making sure they're not missing Sunday. And so you want to go rope against the best guys in the world. And if you want to pick, like I say, go down the list, there'll be 15 of them. Pick who you want. And if you want to come heel, same thing. If you got what it takes, or if you just want to experience it, this is the same setup as the NFR. So you got a chance, and you're running at money. You get a chance to rope with them. And so if you want to heel for Clay Smith or Driggers or some of the best guys in the world, Dustin a Squeeze, if you want to see how fast he can turn one, there's a chance right here at our gala to get that experience. And another thing is too, I've also seen where some of the guys bid on it. And last year was pretty cool. One of my guys over there in Durango, David Johnson, he bought the heeling. Well, he doesn't rope. He ropes a little bit. He comes to my clinic and he's just kind of dabbled around. It's got to where he can kind of rope some steers around the horns a little bit. But he bought it to give to a military gentleman. And so he gave that experience to one of the guys that's been to our roping, to where he got a chance to rope with Clay Smith.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all kind of different ways to where this experience has gone.
Really
and amazing. It's just amazing to where, like I say, it's cool to be. I think Troy, he bought it last year because he was trying to get the Bray boys ready. He's like, man, if Wyatt and Payton are ready, we got to get them ready for this year's NFR, which they do have a chance.
They do have a chance
if they can polish them off over there at the Governor's Cup, they've got a chance. So
there was another thing that we're going to do at the gala this year, Charlie, and if we have a raffle that's going on right now.
So I want this one too.
You want this so you can ride this to your SWAT team training, right?
Absolutely.
So we've had a gentleman who donated a Harley Davidson to us. It's a beautiful bike. It's a 2006 model, but you wouldn't know that it's a week old. It's just gorgeous, and it has been modified a little bit. The Harley Davidson decals and such have been taken off, and now on one side of the fuel tank it has the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation logo. On the other side it has the American Heroes Celebration with Charlie Crawford logo, and then on the fenders it has all the branches of the service as well as the fire and police service emblems on there. So that's online right now, and that bike will be at NRS all week long on display, and it will also be at the gala, and we'll do the drawing at the gala. And those tickets, again, you go, as with everything, you go the gala tickets, the raffle tickets, how to sign up for the silent auction, that's all at our website, libertyandloyaltyfoundation.com.
Yeah, and that's where we're able to gather up a lot of our money. We do a lot of it through the year. We've had some good sponsors for our United We brand. We've had people donate throughout the year, but this gala is where we're able to do a lot of things for our guys. And
it really is.
Really love to have a lot of the people, even just to come watch. There's tickets available, but man, anybody want to come bid on some of these things? Please come. I mean, Decatur's a beautiful area. Really excited. We're now in one of our board members' home territory. Lane Aiken.
We are Lane Aiken, Sheriff of Wise County.
I'm really excited to get to his spot right here.
Absolutely.
And some of the people that he's going to be around. I can't wait to get him on a podcast as well, because he was a former Texas Ranger, correct?
Correct, and he's also going to speak at the gala.
He's a great man.
So that's going to be fun.
Have him involved, and then he's also got a book that he's just written too, and so I'm excited to get him on the podcast and talk about his book as well. But man,
Absolutely.
What a great story! You actually introduced him to me in Decatur a few years ago, and he's like, "Man, we got to get this guy on board."
Yeah,
it's been
Lane's just, again, terrific human being, just one of the real quality folks. But you know what you mentioned, so we raised the money. We have partners that distribute that money for us. We don't keep anything, as we know. Everything outside of the expenses that put this on goes out the door. And up to this year, in addition to the ropings and the money that goes out for that, we have 3 organizations that we have supported. And because their values and their ideas match ours, just line item by line item. And so that's Building Homes for Heroes. So, we'll have a home recipient will be here, but we'll present a check to them, and that check will be presented during the NFR showdown on Sunday. And then the same thing with Brotherhood for the Fallen. So Brotherhood for the Fallen is an organization that supports the families of law enforcement officers killed violently in the line of duty. And so again, we wrote them a check last year. We're including them again this year, and this will be, I think, the 3rd year for them. And then the third one we brought on last year was Charly 5, and I mentioned this earlier. When you
talk about Charly 5, because
when you bring the horse
story.
When you bring the horse into this equation, it just magnifies the effect. So Charly 5, Jeremy Sviger is the founder and runs that, and just a great guy, and he's made this his life's work, following his service. And what he does is he takes the horse, and he takes a veteran or first responder who's suffering in some manner, or afflicted with PTSD and needs help. And when you marry that person up, and this is independent of any discipline, it doesn't have to be team roping, but so when you marry that horse up with that individual, then you just watch the magic happen. Well, we've had Greg Zeal came here a couple of years ago. He was the top hand. And, Greg was a retired Las Vegas police officer and went and recipient through Charly 5. And I mean, it changed his life. And then that's true, each year. And so again,
a lot of his battles was from the Vegas shooting, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, we have one of the attendees this year for the clinic is another recipient, of a horse from Charly 5. So again, we're proud that, we're going to be able to support that organization as well. And then the board's made the decision this year that we've got a fourth one, and this kind of completes, if you look at who we're supporting and how we're doing it, this kind of completes the equation, if you will. We're bringing on the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. It's housed, their headquarters is in Ebbetsburg, Maryland, where the National Fire Academy is. And this organization, again, it supports the families of fallen firefighters. So we think that's really important to bring that into the fold. So they will be included this year, and those will be the four that we have this year, and we'll foreseeably going forward as well. But just great organizations. Representatives from all of those organizations will be at the gala. So anybody that comes to the gala, can have that conversation with them. It's an opportunity to meet veterans, meet first responders, meet like-minded people, and then support that. So those are what we're going to do this year, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited, and I get to speak at it because that's always fun for me to be able to try to hit a certain timeline and try to memorize things that need to be. Luckily, we go over this throughout the year, where it gets a little easier. But I think the last few times I think you've had to put me on a timer, because I'll just get wander off, start picking people down the line, and start just having a conversation with them and talk about it, tell them about their life story. So, but it's been fun though, man. I really enjoy it. It's I've never been to too many galas before, but it's fun to see what we're able to do for people. It's really where that kind of culminates. One of the things, the reason why we're down here is to do things for other people, and it's been fun to be able to see what that gala has been able. We outgrew the one before because it's getting so big, and so we're in a venue now where it's going to be able to hold quite a few people. Is it 400?
We can hold up to 400, yeah.
So really encourage everyone that's interested, please come. Love to see you. Love to have you there. And so that's going to be Saturday night in Decatur.
We've made an effort this year, and I think going forward we'll continue to do this, is that to keep prices reasonable. Mm-hmm. So these things are affordable. The roping's affordable for the guys. That the gala is $50 a ticket. So that's normal. That's a dinner out, and this includes dinner. So we try to keep these things to where they make sense, and we can serve our community.
And then obviously, if you want to be more involved, there's tables, there's ways you can buy a table and things like that'll also help. But it's fun. So it's gonna, and it's nice too, because one of the things that we did this year also, we're not trying to change nothing. We're trying to get to a solid spot where we can make it repetitious every year. We can kind of count on it, but we had so much growth last year in our ropings that we had to extend it another day. And that's why now we see the NFR Showdown on Sunday, because the ropings have gotten so big with one arena that we had to extend it out a day, which now will make it so much, in my opinion, all right there in Decatur. And then once everything's done in Decatur, now on Sunday, we move to Cowtown Coliseum.
Yep. And again, as we talked earlier, the partnership we enjoy with NRS, we've got that same partnership with Cowtown Coliseum, and our meeting with them last week, we saw that. They truly are partners, and they're excited to put this on. and we're excited to have them. I think this year is going to be even better. This will be our third year at the Coliseum, and we've ironed out a lot of the learning.
Yep.
It's a steep learning curve.
Yep.
But boy, it's coming together nicely.
Yeah, it is. I thought last year it went on really well, and so this is one of the things I think that's really meaningful also for the military first responders. So one of the things that I wanted, because this was a big deal when I made the NFR, one was a back number. Two was the grand entry. We loved riding behind our state flags where we were from and representing where we came from. And so this is a chance for the military first responders after the national anthem, they get a chance to ride behind their branch flags during the grand entry. So,
yeah, it's big.
Yeah. I mean, that's where you see some guys smiling and you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, this year's Imus Ranch NFR showdown is going to be so good in the fact of, I really hope that we can pack this thing. I want to sell it out because one of the things that, I've had it in my head for so long was to give them the NFR experience. But here's the one thing that you can't buy is when you ring the bell and you turn a steer off and you double him up and you face and hearing that crowd roar. This is where I really want to be able to try to get people there to the event. I want to sell it out. I want to pack it out. I want the guys to feel what it's like when they enter the grand entry, ride behind their flags right there where people are behind them. This is for a chance, in my opinion, for the Western industry to show up and be able to give thanks to these guys, for you guys.
We have a way this year of getting more people there. So Higginbotham, which we mentioned earlier, they've sponsored also. They've bought seats for the NFR Showdown. And if you're a military first responder, you go online again to our website, you can get free tickets for this, and it's courtesy of Higginbotham. So that's right off the bat. I mean, it's then with the tourist crowd that's down there now, the massive amounts of people, we really do want to get this place packed so they can be rocking.
Just to be able to get behind the guys, the military first responder guys. But then also too, as I always tell everyone, these when I was a kid, man, if there was a team roping close and I get to watch the best guys in the world, I would have been there. Like for parents wanting to get their kids, let them see it. It's great to watch it on TV, but this is a chance right here to watch it at eye level, to see how truly fast these guys really are.
And you look Cottown Coliseum, you are on top of it. I mean, you are right there.
It's the same, yeah. You're so close you can see it, but it's the same dimensions as what it's going to be at the NFR. Yeah. My goal this year is to have the Cowboy Channel there and broadcast it. I want to have it. I want people on the ground right there because there's so many things that we capture through this event. There's so many things that when we're presenting homes. When guys get done winning the military first responder roping and they make their victory lap out there like they've won the average at the NFR, when the saddles are sitting down there, when you're down there on the floor, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement.
Tremendous. The guy, the young man who got the house last year from Building Homes for Heroes, he didn't know it.
So last year we had once the grand entry's over, we had the first round of the NFR. So this is where the top guys in the world, the top 15, they rope, they go at it. And there's a few other teams that are going to be also invited through the Gala NFR experience as well. But these guys rope, and then when we're done, that's when we have Building Homes for Heroes out there and we present a home. And last year was to a Navy SEAL. I forgot his name. That was bad on me. But when we were down there presenting the home to Building Homes for Heroes, we were by the bucket chutes. Well, the sound, there was a dead spot in the sound, so you couldn't really hear what they were announcing. And so when he gets to the house presented, he's got no idea what's going on.
He didn't know it. No.
He went up there in the stands, and his mom and his sister, correct, if I remember right, they were just bawling and like, "Oh my gosh, honey, that's awesome!" And he was like, what's going on?" And finally, they had to settle him down, and they told him, and we had it on film, but it was during a commercial break.
Right.
But that's what I want to make sure we captivate all those emotions. I mean, that was a lot. That was emotional.
Well, that and when we recognize, we recognize the fallen law enforcement officer's family.
Well, when you were able to see him get his home from his family, that was pretty cool because that's who we found out from was them, not from us because he couldn't hear down below. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there is, as you mentioned, tremendous amount of emotion that day. It's a tough day. It's a fun day.
Yeah,
but it's a tough day too.
Yeah, it is. It is because then after the first round, the second round, that's when we do that. Well, then the second round is basically the NFR guys come back in again, and they rope round two. Well, then in between the second and third round, that's when we recognize the Brotherhood for the Fallen. We're able to honor those families so last year, the police officer that was killed in I believe it was
It was
Cisco.
the Boddicker family, yeah.
And they were there, and I got to go present them with the challenge coin, and that was pretty hard. There was a lot of hurt, when she came and hugged me and thanked me, and the family, thanked me for the opportunity for us to be able to honor them. It was, there was still a lot of hurt there, and that was tough. But I think it was so great, in my opinion, to be able to have him there and honor him, and to be able to say thank you. That he's not forgotten, and that's what Brotherhood for the Fallen does such a great job of being able to help those families. Because there's so much sacrifice that goes amongst our military and first responder, but also the families. And that's one of the things that touches me that, like I said, that was something that was also, we want to capture, because that's a tough one for a lot of us.
It really is. Yeah. That's hard to put words to. I can, that's kind of been my life, between the military and the police side. And I will tell you, it's tough on the families. The individual, they're not here anymore. The families still are, and it's tough. But it's very, I think it's important to recognize them, which we've done. We're going to, we're planning on doing that again this year with another family. So we'll have more tears.
Yeah. That one's tough. And then luckily we can kind of reverse it and kind of build the tempo back up as our military first responders come in to rope their short round steer for the big money.
Yeah.
For a chance at a $30,000 first place. We talked about the sponsors, so happy about Kinetic Vet. And we got, it used to be Brazos, but now it's Signatures. So Charly Buchanan comes in and helps with that. And so it's such a cool deal. We want those guys down on the ground. JD Hill, he's been with us since we first got to Decatur, so I love having those guys. I want them down on the ground. So that way, when you guys get done winning it, you guys make your victory lap out there. There's somebody going to hold your horse. We got the saddles down there, the checks, the big check presented right there, the buckles. And so when we get down, we got the sponsor down there. They can feel the energy that these guys have when they get done winning it. You talk about electricity, and like Big John won it last year, and he gave me a hug right there as I was interviewing him, about knocked a rib out. What I'm saying? It was so much. It was awesome. And then Jersey, Rocco, he came all the way from Jersey. He was at our very first one. And so to see those guys win it was so cool. But the video that they had online when they came out,
it's great.
And the song, "The Best Day of Our Lives," that they made their victory lap. You couldn't have told me if they would have made the NFR or if they won our roping. It was.
Can you imagine cool. Rocco's drive back home to New Jersey?
That was so cool.
His wheels never touch the ground.
I know it. Yeah, it was so cool. So that's a good one. And then we run the third round of the NFR guys again. And then once that's over with, then we bring in our ranch rodeo event. And as we're setting that up, that's when we also present Charly 5.
Yeah.
With some of the money that we gathered at our gala. And so we have a check presentation in Charly 5. And then we get our top 4 teams in the NFR.
And we'll do the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation at that time as well. So,
so we'll put those 2 in there between the third and fourth round, and then our ranch rodeo. So every rodeo, one of the great things about timed event and roughies is that during a rodeo, you need the roughies. The roughies are going to sell the crowd out. The timies pretty much help because there's so much membership. That kind of keeps the association going, but you need the roughies because you need butts in seats. This is our ranch rodeo event. This is what makes it entertaining and exciting. We get the Final 4 in there, and I think they have 3 minutes when they get to Cowtown, and it is fun watching. That's when the crowd comes alive. So much fun. And,
of course, Blake will have a big say in some of that. And our announcers this year, we got same as we did last year. So we got Farron.
Farron Lucero. He rocks it, and he's also going to be doing at the gala.
Right, fair. And then we got Steve.
And then we got Steve Kenyon that's also going to be announcing. So he's going to help us a lot with the Cowboy Channel there between the announcing and getting that thing broadcast. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's going to be so much fun. And then we got Blake Mowry, our second annual Marine clown
show.
Clown show. And he was awesome. He had a tanker helmet on last year.
He did.
It was so cool.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah. So we have our in-house clown, and so that's going to be awesome. And then so that's in between the third and fourth round, and then we'll solidify it there at the end, and we'll close it out with the NFR guys roping their final steer, getting ready for Vegas, and then whoever the average winners are with that, that's where we're going to be able to get the interview with them, present them with their check. And, it's pretty cool, too, to hear what their side of it is, too, because, for a lot of these guys, this means a lot to them, too. To be able to, I tell the NFR guys, look, you guys are a part of something that you've probably never been a part of before. You guys are helping with, getting people here to buy tickets to help, raise money for this. You guys are also turning and heeling steers down for these guys, creating experiences. I tell them, like, you guys are a part of what we're trying to do as well. And so this is pretty meaningful for a lot of the guys as well.
The fact that they're willing to fly back, from Phoenix in order to participate just says volumes about what, has grown here and what it means.
Yeah. Yeah. So really love to see you guys there. Anyone that can come, please come buy a ticket, come watch it, come support it. The tickets will be online as well. So, buy the last thing. If we can pack that thing out, man, that'd be so cool. That'd be so much fun. So
it's not going to be for lack of trying.
Yeah, this is the goal.
We're gonna make it happen. And when you say buy tickets, now remember the tickets are only for Sunday. If you come during the week to Decatur, which everybody's welcome to, and that's the silent auction and ropings and such, that's all free. Just come on.
Absolutely.
Just come on in.
Yep.
We'd love to see you.
Well, it's going to be an exciting year, and like I say, our board, man, they've done a great job with that 30,000-foot view, and our ops team, gosh, that hard work. I mean, we have meetings once a month, and just trying to nail down every single moving part, and our ambassadors that are part of this, and so can't say thank you to these guys enough, and our sponsors, and our partners as well as we're doing this. So 2024, we're seeing where this. Hopefully, this is going to be bigger and better than ever. Hopefully, after a great election. Hopefully we'll have a lot to celebrate.
Yes, we will.
Hopefully we'll be making America great again.
I think we will.
So, well, thanks, Bill. It was a great update.
Thank you, Charlie.
Like I say, everyone out there, man, I hope to see you guys there. Appreciate it.